You ready? All right, Phil. What we're gonna do today. I'm kind of doing a little hodgepodge of stuff. Uh, this little Dacron shrimp that I'm making. I've run out of cord, so whenever I tie out at the end, finish a row and tie out. Whenever I start back, I go halfway around the net to start back in. See what I'm going to do here? I'm going to take my needles full of twine. I'm going to pick up just that first mash. I'm going to pull that tail over here out of my way. And I'm just going to take and tie a single knot. I showed you this before, but we'll do it again. I'm going to tie that single knot. Then I'm ready to resume. And what I've got here, I've got one plain row left to do. I'm just going to tie a couple of mashes. I'm going to put this down, and I'm going to get to the subject of the day, which is going to be a little hodgepodge of stuff, but it's things that I think that I try to listen to you folks. You email me, you call me with suggestions and ideas and things to do to improve what we're doing. And the biggest thing's been I'm going to put this down for now. It's the Flying Dutchman. Being able to pick that up. And I had a really good suggestion from somebody. He suggested, why don't I use a larger diameter line and color, and where they can see it, where it'll pick up really good. So, hey, that's a great idea. So what I did today is I started, and I'm going to have to stand up to do this. I can't do this, Phil. Phil's going to follow me. He's going to follow me. I'm going to stand up and ease up here where you can see what I did. I started, you got a good view of that, Phil? See what I did? I started a net. This is strictly for demonstration purposes. As you can see, that's 1/4 inch. What this is a 3/16 parachute cord, parachute line. And I'm going to demonstrate this Flying Dutchman to you. And if you can't see this, I don't know. We're going to be out of luck. Okay, are you ready, partner?
Go.
Okay, what I'm going to do is something. See how you start out. I already did one mesh where I can put my gauge in there. I'm ready for start tying knots. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to come around this little finger real slow. Okay? You notice that I crimp. This finger and the thumb does the work. It holds that thing in place. Now I'm going to come in here like this on the back side of. Bear with me because this stuff is thick and it's hard to work with. All right, I'm going to come on the back side, go through that loop, and stop. You see that? I'm going to reach up here. I'm going to catch this. See what I'm doing? I'm gently pulling this down. I pull it down tight to that mesh board. See how tight that is? You can see underneath here where it's grabbing, and here. Now, once I feel that tension, I'm going to let it go. But this is a bear. It ties a big old ugly knot, but the issue is, and this thing up here slipped on me like nobody's business. I wasn't expecting that. But that's the trouble with this stuff. It's not designed to do this. But anyway, you're going to get the point. Let's do another one. All right. Phil's getting up here really close on this one. I'm going to come around with that little finger. Go through the loop, pick up that mesh, and I'm going to bring it down. But I'm going to do this one easy so maybe it won't slip on me. Once I feel that tension, see I let that thing go. And that knot, I have to work it to tie it because you get the message. You see what I'm doing. This is stuff that's not designed to do this, so you just got to bear with me. But at least you can see the idea of the Flying Dutchman. Basically, it's just a practice thing. You get used to doing it. Come around that little finger. I'm just going to do one more and get off of this subject because I got other things I want to do. I picked it up. I come around that little finger. See how I'm crimping that with these two fingers? I'm going to put the loop, come back through that loop, pick up that mesh, and it'll have a tendency to want to come off your finger, but you have to see how I pull that down, and then I'm ready to tie it. And what I've got here is a big old longaroni knot. Now let's take this off where you can see somewhat what that knot is. Can you get a good look at that, Phil?
Okay, I'm gonna come in.
See that, see that damn big old knot. But that's it. I mean, that's it. That is the Flying Dutchman. I mean, I can do one more right quick for you, and this is it. I'm gonna come around that little finger behind it, go through the loop, pick up the mesh, reach up there, get it, bring it down, and then I would tie it. I'm not even going to tie it because I think you've got the message of what it is and what it does. And anyway, I hope this is a help to you. And when we get all through, if we've got a little bit of time, I can. Now what I'm going to do here, I'm going to move over here. I'm going to move my chair over here. As I told you about the hodgepodge thing I want to do. I want to call this the anatomy of a net. First of all, before we get started, look at this little thing that Phil, look, I mean, this guy comes up with some of the neatest stuff. Show you what he did. He's got a plastic bucket. What is this, Phil, a ½ inch diameter?
About a ½ inch.
About a half, yeah. And what he did, it's a dial, as you can see, put a point on it. He put a knob on the back end of it. He drilled a hole through the bucket where you can put your line in here. Well, here's my braided Dacron, and that's braided nylon for the braille lines. But it's so neat. It keeps it. It helps you when you go to fill that needle. I can tell you. All right, let's get down to the point. The first part I want to start talking about this episode is going to be the horn, the top of the net. And I can tell you something about it. It ain't been around that many years. It was actually the middle of about the middle of the 1800s when they started putting horns in a net. Before that, they just were up there at the top of that net. You just left a loop in the top, and what you did was you put the braille lines through it. Now, I'm going to show you some stuff. Brass has been around a long time. We know that. The early people, they would have used animal horns. Our Menorcan ancestors, who really everything I talk about is based on my Menorcan heritage. I want to show you some stuff here. What they would have been using would have been a cow horn, because Pedro Menendez brought cattle over here in 1565, and and so they got loose, and I mean it was for some years into the 40s there was wild cattle up A1A up there at Ponte Vedra. So stuff was available. So this is what you used, and you can take a look at that. That thing, that horn there is from the early 1940s. It's eat up with wormholes. It's eat it all up. Okay. Now, actually, the next thing that went in the top of a net, believe it or not, was the brass. That brass ring right there, the swivel. I mean the ring, not a brass. As you can see, it was nothing but a brass ring. Phil's been getting some good pictures of it for you. The swivel, you wanted the swivel where it didn't go through this thing. You always remember this anytime you're making a net now. You do not want that swivel to go through the horn, regardless of what you make. You don't want it to go through it. This thing is a little bit almost too big, but that's what was used right there. Plastic came along, and really it was 1907 is when a workable plastic hit the market. One that could be melded and molded into different things. And so they started making stuff out of plastic. These things here, this plastic horn, you could still buy these up to about 3 years ago, and they've disappeared. You don't see them anymore. You don't nowhere to be seen. These are some old ones. These are from the late 40s into the probably 1960. Just different manufacturers, as you can see. These were put in the bigger nests. These were put in those. They started making those big nests. These are newer here. This stuff here. And the last, really the last one that this is probably from the 80s or 90s. As you can see, what you did is the net came through here and went around this thing. Actually, it went down like this. It went down on this thing like it came through here. They pulled it up over this, worked the top of that net in through this. Then they come up and they pressed that in and locked it. Pretty good idea. And I don't know what they use for a swivel. I don't use this stuff, so I'm just guessing at some of that. But and again, you could still buy these up to about 2-3 years ago. They're gone now. So, but anyway, I don't use none of this stuff. What I use is the cow horns. They get hard to find, and they're not hard to find. There's plenty of them. They're just very expensive. But anyway, that's a real cow horn, and so you can see what I do. This is one that it ain't full of holes. And so anyhow, and then I make a swivel, and you drill a hole through it, put your hand line through here. Your braid lines go around this, and the braid lines go down through the horn, down to the foot line. We get into that next time. But I think I pretty well covered about the anatomy, starting with this stuff. The next one's going to be interesting because I'm going to do the one on material, the different types of material that we use. So that's what we'll do the next time. But I think I've taken enough of your time today. I think I covered this pretty well. We went from animal horns to brass to plastic. Basically, that's the transition. Was animal horns to brass to plastic, and of course I use the cow horns exclusively now. On all my nets, get a cow horn for a horn. And I like Phil's little invention. You need to make you one of these. You guys are going to get involved in making this. That is the neatest thing. That little deal. I just love it. I could sit down there and the cord comes off so pretty and smooth onto the needle. And Phil, we got any time left?
Yeah.
I'm gonna get back and tie a few more knots for you on this thing where you can maybe get some kind of idea. We'll pick this up, pick up where I left off on this. I got to get way back here. Now I'll do this where you can see this. See how hard this stuff's to see? I have people call me wanting to make them. They want to make a Dacron net. I say, don't start there. Get proficient with nylon before you attempt to fool with this stuff. This stuff, what's hard about it is you can't untie the knot. If you make a mistake, if you're good, if you're very proficient, you know, then there's no problem. But you don't want to have to untie the knots in this stuff. I can tell you, not even for me. I've got needles. Very seldom I have to untie a knot. Usually if I untie a knot, it's because I went by widening. If you go by widening, you know, I don't like going by widenings. I'll try to untie the knot. Dutchman again around that little finger. Big loop. Through the loop around the finger. Pick up that mesh. Come along, bring it down tight and tie it. That's all there is to it. So with that, I mean, I think we've pretty well covered everything. That deal there with that big stuff, you got a really good view. You could really see the makings of that knot. You know, and this is just, you know, this is what I do. Anyway, I'm in the process of making this little 6-foot net. Then I got another 6-foot shrimp net to make, and we'll see. But anyway, then this is Mikey Zen of Menorcan Magic here in beautiful San Augustine, Florida. Phil and I went over to the beach this morning, it was rough as a cob over there. Storms offshore, I guess it was rough. It was pretty, but it wasn't windy, but it was rough. The tide was high, I guess partially with the full moon. And Phil was out there trying to toss his little net around, and I think he got beat up in the process. But anyway, if you want to contact me, YouTube, probably the YouTubes are probably the best point. My phone number is area code 904-217-7974. I'm on Facebook. I have 2-3 pages. I've got the Cassacola Creek, Mikey Zena, Menorcan Magic. I'll get it right in a minute. And you can find us if you want to, because we put a lot of posts on our pictures and nets. And anyway, with that said, you guys, everybody, take care of yourself. Whatever you do, stay safe, enjoy it. There's a lot of people getting interested in making nets. I'm really pleased. I'm getting an awful lot of response off of YouTube on these videos, and I try to be genuine. What I tell you is the truth. I'm not going to tell you anything that isn't the truth. I'm not going to exaggerate. What I tell you, you can, rest assured, it's in your best interest. And with that said, Phil, you're ready to shut this thing down till the next time. Y'all, again, take care of yourself and have a blessed day.